Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Now let's blow this city up.
What do you want? Do you back the clerics here, or do you want them gone?
You get right to the point, don't you?
And are you gonna give me an answer?
I'm against the clerics.
Right, good. I can see you talk sense. They say they're here to keep things safe, to keep order. But it's obvious they want to drop their neutrality and extend Ignadon's control into Abessa. Not allowing anyone in or out of the city. That's just the start of it. You think that's because the Alps are getting closer? Or that those followers of Kalan really want a backdoor for invasion?
Well, if there's going to be an invasion, I'm going to need some ammunition.
And you want me to give you that? Well, this is like being back in Tavar. People asking for things and expecting to just get them. But yeah, if I'm gonna talk about the need to fight, I suppose I should give you something to help you out.
Why don't you do something to stop the clerics?
What's that got to do with you? You expect me to trust you just like that?
Hunter sent me.
Why didn't he come himself?
He was afraid he wouldn't be let out of the city again if he was caught.
You mean he was afraid the same thing would happen to him that happened to me? Fuck it. At least the suggesters haven't found me yet. Did Hunter give you something for me?
Yes, I have something for you.
Thanks. I was starting to think that I would never leave this stinking cleric-infested dome. I don't know if Hunter promised you a reward, but here's something for me in any case. You've helped a good cause. Trust me.
I swear those creatures are getting more dangerous.
Leave your hands where I can see them. What is it you want?
Who are you?
You first. Come on. Who are you? There is something that is familiar about you, but I can't quite place it. No matter, I suppose. All people are welcome in Abessa, as long as they are prepared to forget their past. Even Albs are allowed in here. I think Albs would be perfect people if they weren't so emotionless. But then, that is why they are the only faction I have never belonged to.
What do you mean? You mean you want to become an Alb?
That's a long story. If you're really interested in my tale, then I will tell you, of course.
Calculated interest in human narrative. Interest at 0%. Deactivating attention unit.
Tell me your story. How did you end up joining the clerics?
Right, I'll give you the full version. Well, the short version of the full version.
Just get on with it.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. So, I grew up in Goliath in Edan. My father and mother were both born berserkers, and so that meant I was too. Back then, Bajar ruled over Goliath. As a child, I had no interest in the laws, of course. But when I was about 12 years old, one of the warlords came to our home. He took my parents, and I was left on my own to survive in the city. I remember him. I remember my parents leaving. And I remember me screaming. But everything else is gone. It's just a blur.
What happened to your parents?
Well, what else? They were exiled. Nobody ever told me why they were exiled. I still don't know what they did, even today. I hate the Berserker laws. Nothing against the Berserkers. They're just people. It's the laws I hate. I think what the Berserkers want to do with Magalan is right. But I can never forgive them for what they did to my parents. Why was I punished for whatever my parents did? Why wasn't I told what had happened? I swore never to return, and I haven't set foot in Edan again.
Where did you go?
Wherever I needed to survive. That meant running from reavers and wild animals. It didn't take long for some reavers to take me captive. And then... I don't want to talk about that. I was lucky, though. After several years, the reavers were attacked by some of the Duke's outlaws, and they took me back to Tavar. I learned how to fight, how to live off scrap. Life wasn't much different from Edan, but there wasn't the same raptor shit. The laws. You could be who you were, and no one judged you.
Then why didn't you remain with the outlaws?
Because the reavers who'd taken me captive came to the fort and wanted to speak to the Duke. I think they wanted to take me back. I fled when they saw me. I didn't want to be taken back, or for them to kill me to hide their crime. When I left the fort, I ran into a cleric patrol. They convinced me to go to the Hort with them. Not that I really needed that much convincing. All those hours taking scrap apart and putting it back together in Tavar really paid off there. The clerics recognized that I was good with technology. So, I've been working on mechs and AI systems since then. Building things. Trusted. Part of a team. And it's easier being with mechs. They don't judge anyone. They treat everyone the same. Like this place. I know it's not perfect. But outlaws, berserkers, clerics, even elves are seen as people. At least that's the vision. Not always the way it happens. That's another reason to maintain these mechs. To protect what we have here. Well, I hope you find your place in the world. It's good when you do.
What are you doing here in Abessa?
I take care of the mechs and drones here in the city, which means I coordinate and plan their maintenance and upgrades. When I'm lucky, I get to roll up my sleeves and do some of the actual maintenance. Which I'm having to do quite a lot, with all the technicians we're missing. Say, are you good with technology?
I know enough to work on mechs.
You do? Maybe we could take you on in a permanent position here in the city.
Do you think they would employ me?
That's true. Alois has security concerns about taking anyone who's not been in the city long enough. So, yeah, maybe I should look for someone else. On the other hand, if you're looking for some part-time work, I could still use your help. I have 4 people I've been told I should look at for taking the technician's job, but I don't have time to gauge their abilities. Would that be something you could do for me? I'd pay you.
Yeah, I'll talk to your candidates.
Great. The 4 names I have are Daryl, Naira, Rorik, and Riley. Though I'm really not sure about Riley. There's something about him I don't trust. But speak to each of them and let me know whether you think they might have the right skills and abilities for the job. Oh, and I'll need you to let me know about their loyalties. You know, can they work with clerics? Do they hate us? We'd be trusting them with the mechs and AI that defend the Dome City. So I don't want to employ anyone who might still be thinking about their faction, not our security.
So, you come here from Goliath?
Goliath?
What's happening in the city?
Well, the Dome City is a refuge for all. Outlaws, berserker, clerics, anyone who wants to be somewhere other than their homeland. Being away from home, you'd think they'd care less about what faction they were from. But for some reason, some of them have got even more fanatical. That makes keeping order difficult sometimes. The outlaws are the worst. They don't understand rules or sharing, or in some cases, that people have a right to stay alive.
You don't seem to like outlaws.
All people are welcome here. The Dome City is a refuge for all. But that means all, not just outlaws. There's a half-dozen outlaws hanging around outside the city at the old farm now. They just want to get in to cause trouble. I mean, we got everyone settled down and living together, and those outlaws, I just wish they'd disappear.
You want the outlaws in the farm to die?
Whoa, whoa, that's not what I said. I just want them to stop causing trouble for good.
About the outlaws in the farm.
You mean the threat on our doorstep? The canker in our midst? They who should disappear?
If the price is right, I will take care of the outlaws.
Are you sure you can handle this? Well, if you're willing to try, then I would be grateful if they'd vanish. I will have your reward ready when you come back. Oh, it'll be such a relief to know they're gone. But you need to prove you did it by bringing me their heads.
Okay, I'll bring you their heads.
By Kalan, what? No, no, what am I supposed to do with their heads? No, I didn't. Just make sure that the outlaws disappear. And don't trade with them, or you can forget your reward. And no heads. Don't bring me any heads.
Where are these outlaws?
They've gathered east of here at an old farm, not far from the city walls. You can't miss them.
Ah, the gift and treasures of travel, for it brings new encounters. So what are you? Merchant? Bounty hunter? Or a nobody, like most people out there?
I'm not in a faction.
Well, guess you're one lonely son of a bitch then, aren't you? Here, before you start begging for help, consider it a gift from the Duke. You gave me enough that I can share.
Keep your charity.
It isn't smart to refuse a gift from the boss. You should learn to appreciate his generosity.
How do people live here?
Here, smoke one with me, before you start bombarding me with questions, yeah? I have the best stuff here.
What do you have to offer?
Troll dung, rat scab, it's all first-class stuff. Snort it, smoke it, either way, you'll never forget the experience.
Forget it.
Well, that's your choice. From time to time, you need to open a door in your head and look inside, right? But if you won't, then all the more for me. That done, let's get into the real business.
What business?
Real business. A proper opportunity. You see, the clerics have had this city under their control for years. And the Duke thinks they're planning to take control everywhere, sooner or later. And he thinks the Dome City could be the starting point for their military campaign. So, my job is to find out if he's right, if there is something brewing that could be dangerous for us in Tavar.
What information have you gathered about the clerics?
Pretty much nothing so far. They've not been very loose-lipped around me. I must sorta stand out.
So, you want me to be your spy?
I want you to find out information. Now I can see in your eyes that you haven't fallen for the cleric's tricks. You aren't simple enough to believe every piece of troll shit you're fed.
What do you expect from me?
All that you have to do is get some answers out of somebody, and I've even got the guy lined up ready for you. His name is Lutz. He's one of Alois's technicians. As far as I know, he's trying to re-establish communications with the other clerics in Ignadon. While Alois will tell you the clerics here are neutral, separate from the ones in the Horde. Go and grill Lutz. Find out if there'll be an offensive soon. Do that, then come back to me as soon as you have any useful information.
Temporary access to internal databanks requires access authorization.
No, buddy. I mean other information, but thanks for the offer.
How many shards are you talking about?
Enough. The Duke is generous. I pay. That much you can be sure of.
Why do you think that these technicians will know about the cleric's plans?
Because he's the guy that maintains all the communications equipment. He must have heard something from the comms. And he's more likely to talk than anyone further up the chain. I want to know what he's heard. I need to know what he knows.
Where can I find Lutz?
If he's not on a call, then he's usually working maintenance on one of the generators. Just walk along the battlement path up at the top. You can't be far.
Vivian sent me to talk to you about the technician's job.
Yeah, good. And I'd like to apply for the job. And I'm willing to pay any price to get it. While I'm certain there must be people better qualified than me, there isn't anybody who will pay you as much as I will.
How good are you with technology?
Absolutely crap. I don't know one end of a screwdriver from, well, a hammer, to be honest. But I'm a fast learner, and if I have someone I can ask, then the rest won't be a problem. And did I mention the whole financially rewarding aspect of selecting me as the candidate?
What do you think about the clerics?
What's this got to do with the job? This job is about technical reliability, and I can assure you that I am technically reliable. And as for my interests, you can count on me being a pacifist. I want to do anything to avoid a war, and the better access I have to new information, the better equipped I'll be to ensure a war doesn't suddenly break out without anybody seeing it coming.
I've heard enough.
Okay, and remember to put in a good word for me with Vivian. I'll make it worth your while.
I have to go.
Are you here to seek shelter or to cause problems? This area is a sanctuary for refugees. There's nothing here for reavers, recruiters, or troublemakers.
What's wrong with you? Have I done something to piss you off?
Call it experience, but those in need and those willing to help don't normally question my motives.
Are you always so edgy?
You know you wouldn't need to diffuse things if you didn't get people wound up in the first place. Damn, this is like being back in Goliath all over again.
What brought you out here?
This is a place away from the war. A place people could make up their minds without being pressured to join one of the factions. If the people here wanted to join a faction, they would have. But some people aren't ready for that. Or they've been cast out. They have to go somewhere.
So there's no faction in charge here?
Well, the clerics keep order, but it's not like the Horde where entry means you have to join them. Here you can forget about factions.
You're a berserker. Is Adan trying to conquer Abessa?
I don't answer to Adan. And these people belong to no faction. They belong only to themselves. I stand as their protector against anyone who would force them to do otherwise. My only connection to Adan is my magic. I wish it was more, but wishes don't make things so.
Have you been exiled from Goliath?
Exiled? No. There are those in Adan who want to use my magic for their own purposes. Ever since my power started to grow, they changed me. Their mana changed me, and that change just won't stop. I'm becoming stronger and stronger. It is terrifying.
If that's true, why don't you use your power?
I do, I have. But sometimes it overwhelms me. That's why I fight alone. If I lose control of a spell, there's a chance I could kill anyone and everyone around me. The warlords wanted to test me. Try my powers, to harness them. Now I need to find a solution myself. But to do that, I need to study the properties of Elex, to learn more about it.
I could use someone like you.
Use? There's a word I've heard too much. Well, count me out. I'm not interested in being used.
I could help you.
What do you know of what I need? What do you know of how to help me? Elex marks people. Mana, chems, exposure from food tainted by it. It stays with people. You have its mark on you. You're different somehow. What is it about you?
I took Elex in the past. Is that what you're seeing? Or is there something else?
Took it? You were fed it. You were an Alb soldier. Well, it seems we have something in common. We've both been fed Elex in one form or another. It's changed us. And neither of us know what that means we are now.
What do you think? My offer still stands.
And what exactly is it that you're planning?
I am going to end this war by taking the fight to the Elexitors. And I'm trying to put together a group skilled enough to win that fight.
And you think I'll take part in this?
In return, I will help your quest to find the Elex you're searching for. Then you can improve your magical abilities. You said yourself, the longer you are here, the more you fear your powers will overwhelm you. The longer you stay here, the more danger you put these people in. If you really want to protect them, you need to leave.
Even if that's true, why should I leave with you?
I was an alb. I know Elex and I know magic. I know the impulses that follow you even during sleep. I know the nightmares and the problems of trying to control power that really wants to control you. And I know what it's like when all that is taken from you. We can help each other.
And it's not like I have other options. Not in the long term. You're right. I'm hiding from it here. I need to get out there and find a real solution. I'll wait by the main gate, and we'll see if your actions can match your words. You should stock up here before we go.
I will meet you by the gate.
Just don't keep me waiting, or you might find I change my mind.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was our latest follower.
I wonder if he was serious about that.
Hey, you. Hey, it's you.
Yes, Frank. It's me, Jax.
I heard they shot you down. That you were dead. Apparently that was wrong. But if you're here, does that mean you're a separatist now? Will you stay here and support our cause? I'm sure you would be very welcome.
What cause?
We've broken free from Zakor, from being slaves to Elex. And we've worked, persuaded people to allow us into the city. And now we're here, we are working to be allowed to stay. Would you be willing to help us?
I will give you my support.
Good. We have to stick together. People blame us for this war, even though we left Zakor to escape it. They will doubt us until the day peace begins. I mean, they don't even trust each other. Among all these warring people, all these different agendas, we, you and I, share a similar destiny. It's the only way anyone will survive.
What goods have you got? It seems like you're tolerated here in the city.
That is exactly what we are. Tolerated. We are still a long way from being accepted.
Tolerate, to permit the existence of, with the implication that an effort is required to do this.
Some people make that effort more obvious than others. But there are some who have grown used to us being here. This city is a place of freedom, but all the old suspicions remain. The outlaws claim they are being oppressed. The clerics say they are neutral, but they aren't. The berserkers, they don't seem to know what they're doing, apart from avoiding their laws. We are trying to discover who we are. I think people see that we are all here for a new start.
What goods have you got? Do you need help?
It is good that you offer to help us. The berserkers are already trying to get us thrown out of the city. We need the protection offered by this place. We won't survive without it. We've persuaded people here that we are worth a chance. But there will always be those who won't see it that way. And the Albs and Zakor want us dead. If we're to stay, we need someone to get to Caleb and Jorg. They are key to our future.
About the threat of you being thrown out of the city. What is the problem with Caleb and Jorg?
Jorg is a berserker. He's accused us of spying for the Albs and Zakor. He claims he saw us handing over information about the shield generators. It's completely illogical. We are the ones with the most to lose if Zakor captures this city. But the free people are prisoners to emotion. It makes them doubt logic. They have already thrown one of our group out of the city. Now they are threatening the rest of us with the same fate. We are no friends of the Albs and Zakor. They would see us dead. We want this to be our home now. We need the free people to understand this.
I will help you.
Good. That is the response I wanted. It is best if you go straight to Jorg. Caleb is already attempting further arguments to ensure our expulsion. But it is Jorg's statement that has put us in danger. That lie underpins Caleb's argument against us. If people believe we are working with the enemy, we will be exiled from the city and left to die. But if Jorg confesses his lie, then Caleb would no longer have the proof he claims. They would have no reason to expel us.
What do you want from me? To drive me off? Or maybe even have me killed? You don't scare me. Your people are a plague upon this land. Although, there is something different about you. Do you usually spend time with people like us?
I was an Alb myself once.
Yes. You stopped taking Elex. That is rare, which makes me question how you did it.
Vivian sent me about the technician job.
I am without question the best candidate they will find. Therefore, selecting me is the logical choice. But I need proof that the clerics are really willing to work with me. If I am to work for the clerics, then I would like to be paid. The free people seem to value shards above all things, and so payment would be proof that they take me seriously.
What are your qualifications for this job?
I served as the battlefield technician for my unit in Zakor. I have already discovered errors in the AI systems of the clerics' mechs, and I would be able to modify them. Even the dome isn't running as efficiently as it could. That is another thing I could improve.
Damn, this chick is good.
Do you think you can work with the clerics?
I think it would be better if this city was led by an alb or a machine. But I understand that it isn't up to me to determine this. So yes, I could imagine working with them in the existing circumstances, despite their inefficiencies.
Teach me something.
Of course.
You'd better not steal anything.
I saw you.
You saw me what?
I saw how you came through into the dome. Who are you? Why were you allowed in?
I was an Alb once.
Fuck. What is this, an invasion? Can't you all just go back to Zakor? What do you have to keep coming here for? Well, you'll find more of your kind back there in the city. But you can go and do whatever it is you Albs do together. But don't get used to it. None of you will be staying long. But before you go, you better tell me what you want here, Alb.
Who are you?
Caleb. I lead the Berserkers who've chosen to settle here in Abessa.
You are separate from the Berserkers in Udan?
We have kept our beliefs, but left behind the laws. We have set our own rules here. Well, none of us are allowed to return to Udan now. Or we just end up being sent to the valley. As to why they came here, well, the first settlers were sent to Abessa to plant a world heart to expand the forest of Udan out here. But they were cut off from Udan by the Albs. left on their own to survive. And after a while, they decided to keep it that way. The warlords in Goliath weren't happy. But they're stretched too thin for another conflict, so here we are. And since they settled here, others have joined us. Some are escaped exiles, others just chose to leave Edan.
What do you have against the Separatists?
We came here for peace, to escape the war. How long will that last if more Alps keep coming here? Zakor has left us alone recently. You think they will if they know all their escapees are coming here? Edan? Ignadon? Fuck it, even Tavar. At some point, if they learn that Albs are sheltering here, then they might attack us even if Zakor doesn't. And you can tell me whatever you want about us having the same goals, or the same enemy. But you really expect me to believe you Albs are going to choose us over other Albs? I don't care that people vote to let you in. If it was up to me, we would be better off if you lot were thrown out of the city.
You want to have all the Separatists thrown out of the city?
Yeah. And you know what? I have already started to make it happen. It's easy to find ways to show you people have broken the rules of our agreement. But hey, I have a way you can avoid the same fate. You could do us a service here. You could prove your humanity. Are you prepared to do that? Do you think you're even able?
What do you want from me?
I need help with the Albs. We have an eyewitness who claims to have seen the Separatists exchanging information with the Albs. Traitorous bastards.
Who is this eyewitness?
The Berserker Jorg saw Fenk meet with an Alb in front of the city. Why would they meet if it wasn't to exchange information about the dome? Sadly, Jorg is the only one who's seen Fenk. And now he started saying he isn't sure he really saw Fenk meet an Alb from Zakor. So I have to jog Jorg's memory, or make sure he stops denying what he said. There has to be a way to do that.
You don't think that Jorg could have been wrong in the first place?
No, never. You can't trust these Separatists. They'll betray us sooner or later for sure. I'm telling you, this is just the beginning.
I can make sure Jorg stops denying his story.
You can? Do you think you can make Jorg stick to his original story? It's for the good of the city. So how about you go to Jorg and present yourself as an Alb? Encourage him to believe that he saw what he saw. It can never be said again that the Albs might be innocent.
What? Hey, you're new here in the city, right?
Yes, I've just arrived.
I thought so. I saw you come through the gate, you see? Anyway, I want to ask you something, if that's alright. Have you been to Edan recently? To the Berserker's city of Goliath, to be exact. A good friend of mine is still there.
Who's your friend?
His name is Kral. He's a guard at the Mana Shrine. At least, he was when I left. He thought he still had a chance to save his brother, Grimar, from the Alb Converter. Do you know what happened to him?
Kral is dead.
No. Shit. Maybe if I'd stayed... You know, I was even planning how I could get to Goliath to see if I could get him out of there. I had this feeling something bad would happen to him. First his brother and then him. A curse on all of Edan. And thanks anyways.
Vivian sent me.
Is it about the technician job for the clerics?
Yes.
I'm interested, but I'm not sure that this is the job for me. I mean, I've not had much to do with technology. I've tried to learn since I came to Abessa, but I'm still only just starting out.
So, now you've left Edan. What do you think about the clerics?
I'm grateful they let me in. They don't bother me, and I don't bother them. I'm not a berserker anymore. I live here.
What experience do you have with technology?
Well, back in Goliath, I used to take machines apart. There aren't many I've not seen from the inside. Strange, really. My job used to be to get rid of technology, but now all I want to do is put it back together. The clerics make some incredible things. I mean, just look at the dome. That's an amazing feat of engineering.
If you get orders you don't like, will you run away from here like you did from Adan?
I don't know. But the clerics don't ban some people from doing some things and not others. If I want to learn about technology, they'll let me. They're the same with everyone.
I've heard enough.
Okay. Right. I'll see you then.
Catch up with you again later.
You can forget it, Brabak. I serve everyone here.
Save yourself some work and some pain by doing what I say. Let those assholes drink piss from the gutters, and you keep your supplies for the real people.
What do you care who I serve? I still serve you, even though the other people complain about it.
That makes it real. So you are taking their side, are you?
Everyone seems I'm on nobody's side. I'm just getting on with my job.
You had better reconsider this.
Reconsider what? One wrong word and the clerics will throw you out of the city.
Being an asshole.
So do us both a favor and calm the hell down.
Smells like trouble. This isn't over. I will come back.
When you do, make sure you bring some shards. I'm sick of giving credit and I need the change, all right?
Cooked too long and you ruined the party.
Hey, traveler. Is your throat dry? Are your feet aching? Whatever your problem, I have what you need. One good swig will cure all worries, and that's guaranteed.
I heard about your fight with Brabak.
Ah, forget that guy. Every city has someone like him. You just have to ignore them. Let me know if I can do something for you.
Do you have any news to go with that drink?
News? I presume you're talking about news from in here. I don't hear anything much from the outside now the city gates are sealed. The future of the domed city is the only topic people are concerned about right now. That's pretty much all of the conversation. There's been peace in here for years, but right now, well, we're all set for things to boil over. I don't want to say it's the cleric's fault. It's always easy to blame the people in charge, isn't it? But who else do we blame? The berserkers, the outlaws, the separatists? Me? I find it best not to blame anyone.
How is business?
Now that everyone is paying credit? Roaring. Not many people aren't happy to pay on credit. It's me that's holding the bill and hoping to get paid before I run out of supplies. Speaking of which, do you know where I can get any food supplies? I'll pay real shards to get more food supplies in.
Most people try to earn a profit in your situation, huh?
Try, yeah. Achieving is something different. I'd rather you get the supplies honestly, but if you take them from people who have too much, who am I to question it? But if you steal from those with nothing, then I don't want anything from you. I like to keep things honest.
Do you want to trade?
Here, my thanks to you.
What do you expect me to do with this key?
Any more? I cannot say. The mystery is key to this gift. Search out its meaning, and it will benefit you. Pass this test, and the secret will open to you.
Why are you making such a secret of it?
You will see when you find the meaning.
What was that? If you're here for the food rations, then I'll tell you what I told the other 100 people. Someone must have been making a joke. I don't have anything to sell or give out, so you can just turn around and leave.
What are you talking about?
The free rations. The free rations, as if there would ever be free rations. Ah, but you're not here for that, are you? Then I'm sorry. I have been the butt of a joke that has left me rather angry, and I thought... Well, I'm sorry. It's just... I'm just so sick of it. The belligerence between the berserkers and outlaws. Everything was simpler when I was a cultivator in Goliath. We had laws and everyone obeyed them. Why can't people just all work together?
If you feel that way, why don't you go back to Goliath?
No. Those days are gone. I left willingly to establish a world heart here in Abessa. But when it became clear that the seedling wouldn't grow, Caleb decided that we would remain here. And whatever Caleb says is best. But now, no, I can't go back. We went against orders from Goliath. If I go back now, they'll just stick me in a cage, no questions asked. What was that?
Hey, who's out there?
Hey, you. You don't have any broken energy weapons, chainswords, or anything like that? That sort of thing is my business. So if you find any, bring them to me. I'll give you good prices for them.
Did you flee here from the desert?
Flee? No. But to live in Tavar, you need shards. And despite my talents, I wasn't one of the Duke's favorites, and that made making a profit hard.
What are your talents?
Mechanical and engineering genius. I can make anything you need from bootlaces and glue, as long as I don't get constant interruptions. And staying undisturbed is hard in the Dome City. There's always someone trying to stick their nose in. And those berserkers are the worst for it. One of those assholes killed my friend for fun. Now that bastard is focused on me and nobody's helping me. Even though they know it'll be their turn next, and keeping their head down won't save them.
Who is this berserker that's giving you trouble?
Brabak. A bull of a man and twice as ugly. Bone-breaking bastard.
About Brabak. Where can I find Brabak?
He's usually near the inn. Just follow your nose. If it smells like piss, you found him.
Leave Brabak to me.
You'll deal with him? That would be great, really great. You won't find me trying to put you off that. If you think you can scare him off so he leaves me alone, that would be good. Even if I do, I think ramming a knife into his guts would be a better approach. I would have tried that myself, but if I'd failed. But if you do get rid of him, however you do it, then I will pay you.
I think you can just leave it like that.
You escaped in a crate?
Yeah, those idiots had no idea.
I swear those creatures are getting more dangerous.
Oh yeah? Huh. What do we have here? Fresh meat?
Incorrect statement. My magnesium alloy consists of 0% fresh meat.
I didn't mean you, drone.
Analyzing. No one here is fresh. Would advise alternative sustenance.
Yeah, thanks for the advice. How did you get the guard to let you into the dome? I'd watch out. They're probably trying to recruit you. You wouldn't be the first to come here looking for shelter only to end up bowing down to Kalan. However you got in, you're going to find it even harder to get out. The clerics are a little jumpy at the moment. You might say paranoid. So when they do let someone in, it does make me wonder who they are and why the clerics thought letting them in was a good idea.
If it's so hard to get in, what are you doing here?
I got in before things got so paranoid. And I came here for profit, of course. Lots of nervous people close to the Alps tend to be willing to invest shards in their safety, you see. And getting hold of supplies is hard out here. So, if you can get them, you can sell them for a high price. Well, that was the plan. Now, the clerics have stopped me trading and cut off all the supplies.
Where do you get your goods from?
Mostly directly from Tavar. And that's the main problem. Seeing as the clerics have got picky about who comes in and goes out of here. It's impossible to get by the guards without an ID card. And they took mine from me as part of their crackdown. Now they say I'm causing trouble. But what else is a businesswoman supposed to do when she has her business taken from her?
About your trade ban.
Yeah, don't tell me. Trading weapons can pose a danger to the community. But this is about self-defense. The only person who can stop a person with a gun is a person with an even bigger gun. Am I right? I mean, what? Are we supposed to throw rocks at the Albs when they attack? But the clerics want to keep all the guns for themselves and screw the rest of us. They call it neutrality, but I say it's oppression.
Sounds like you could use some help.
Yes. Yes, I could. Still, let's say he's right. And that I could get a hold of supplies. Not from Tavar, obviously. They've blocked that route. Let's say I could get some weapons from the Separatists, for example. Let's say they have weapons and need shards. And that they also have the business acumen of a stunned troll, so they need a salesperson. Me, for example. What if I was to say that? And what if I was to say that I have to find someone who could enter and leave this city freely? If I was to say that, then what would you say?
Do you really think you can trust the Separatists?
I can't leave without profit. Hell, right now I can't eat without profit. So I need this deal. So if you blab, what have I lost? Nothing. And without any guns to show, it's just your word against mine, and even Alois isn't going to see that as justice.
I could help you get your weapons.
Good. Right. So, this is what you need to do. Leave the city and find a separatist called Radok. I think he's a separatist, but whatever he is, he's a mad fucker. I can't make sense of most of what he says. But he has the weapons, and he likes trade. I think he likes trade. It's hard to tell. He wants to sell the weapons, but you'll have to work on him, okay? He won't just hand them over.
Where can I find Radok?
Up in the Highlands. When we last spoke, he told me he was going to head over to the northeast. He mentioned an abandoned wind turbine. With luck, he'll still be out there.
Do you ever think about how Spook might have been before?
Hey, you!
Let me guess. I'm not allowed into the upper quarter?
What? No, everyone's allowed to move about freely here. I just have a question for you. You got here recently, right? I just want to know what things are like outside the dome. What's going on out there? Are the Albs attacking?
There are raids, but there have been no major assaults recently.
I'm sure that's just the calm before the storm. I just hope the dome holds. There's a lot of people depending on this dome of mine, so they pass us by like a river around a rock. Kalan gave us the knowledge, and now look what we've achieved. A safe harbor for all people. The clerics and Ignidons say we've strayed. I say we've found the true path.
You built the dome?
I designed the plans for it. Then we built it together. My name is Eric, by the way. Chief engineer here in the dome. I'm in charge of all the generators and technicians who oversee them.
Why don't the clerics have a dome like this in Ignidon?
The dome requires immense amounts of energy. and the fluctuations in it have to be constantly balanced. The technology is complex. That means there's no way to cover the Hort with a shield like this. Besides, the cliffs around Hort give it a natural protection.
Can this dome survive an Albatech?
Of course. Why do you think we built it? As long as we can maintain a constant energy flow, then they can't get in. Unfortunately, achieving that isn't so easy. Some of the energy regulators are starting to malfunction again.
I can repair the energy regulators for you.
Thanks for the offer, but that's not necessary. I've already repaired the components. They just haven't all been installed yet.
About the broken energy regulators. What will happen if they aren't repaired?
If just one regulator fails, it could mean an emergency shutdown for the dome. Otherwise, the discharge it would create could kill a whole lot of the people the shield is supposed to be protecting. But whether it's a discharge or an emergency shutdown, both scenarios would see us defenseless.
How many energy regulators are broken?
Well, all of them. I've sorted replacements where I can. But Lutz hasn't received his yet.
I will help you with the energy regulators.
I'd wanted to do it myself, but do you really think you could handle it? So, let's find out who you are. You should go to Ignadon one day. You could be a good cleric. Yeah, I know I left Ignadon behind, but they could offer you better training than I could. I have the energy regulator here. Please, take it to Lutz and help him to install it. Come back to me when you're done.
Move along, civilian. Just a moment, I have to concentrate. 43 degrees eastwards at a distance of 5 kilometers. Maybe I could adjust the receiver's sensitivity to... No. Although,
Should I come back later?
No. I've already lost my train of thought. I suppose I will have to just get used to continuous interruptions here. But crap. I don't suppose you can remember what I said. How many degrees was it?
"43 degrees eastwards."
Exactly. Yes, exactly. Thank you for reminding me.
I assume you are in charge of communications?
You aren't just a good listener, you're good at observation, too. Yes, I am responsible for communications, though the condition of this equipment is wretched. It would be easier to stay in contact with 2 tin cans and a piece of string. I can't keep track of how often we have power outages or equipment failures these days, but I have really given you enough of my time now. I do have to work out a solution to this issue. If you feel the need to talk to someone, go and try Vito. Innkeepers are known for their chatter.
Greetings from the fiery heart of...
Yeah, I'm trying to... Just come back later, please.
You should heal those wounds. Good. That's the right decision.
What are you doing here?
Yes? Is there something urgent? I have a lot to do, as you can imagine. This city does not run itself. So, please excuse me if I'm short with you. This city is made up of a whole mass of confusion. Everyone looking for a new start. No one able to forget their past. They need a leader to hold things together.
You're in charge here?
Well, let's say that I'm the person holding all these threads together. There's no ruler here, we all work together. Everyone here wants something. Whatever you're searching for, it will only add to the list of demands we already face. And providing for the people we already have is a logistical challenge. That means to accommodate everyone we're on strict rations, and those rations have to be earned.
Calculating food consumption. Approximately 171,000 kilos of food will be required per year with the current population. Would you like an analysis of the component elements?
Your drone could be very helpful. Would you sell it?
No. I still need it.
That's a shame.
How long have you been in charge of the Dome City?
I've been in office for 8 years now, and it hasn't been easy. Maintaining a neutral position to the factions while fighting the Albs. By Kalan, there really are more pleasant posts they could have appointed me to.
What if someone wanted to replace you?
Some have tried. Yet I am still here. This city was created by the Great Council of Magalan. They made the clerics custodians of this place and their legacy. The Great Council may be long gone, but what they stood for, a unity of purpose, a future for all of Magalan together, that is something we still believe in here. So, it is our job to remain neutral. It is our job to serve all, no matter their background, however hard our residents make it for us.
How are things here in the Dome City?
Tense. The battles out there are always reflected in here. Tensions run high if the outlaws attack the clerics, or the clerics attack the berserkers. And there's always the fear of an Alb invasion. Those tensions drive greed, anger, and fear. There is war out there, and here your shards will be stolen from your hand if you aren't careful. It's like the world has gone crazy.
Why have things become so bad?
A whole host of reasons. Maybe it would help you if I tell you how things are. The berserkers have lived more and more reclusively ever since the pilgrim went into his retreat. The outlaws are more organized now the Duke has taken power, and the Alb separatists seek shelter with us to escape the powers in Zakor. All told, very dark signs that we face another global catastrophe. And here we are, in the middle.
Is there something I can help you with?
If you want to help, there is something that has to be taken care of quickly. You must have noticed that the mood is very heated here. One more issue, one wobble, and everything we've held together here will fall to pieces. One of my people has reported that the outlaws are expecting a weapons delivery. The last thing that this city needs is more weapons. And who knows who the outlaws will sell them to. I want you to intercept this delivery and bring it to me.
Are you having a lot of trouble here in the city?
Keeping the factions together is always an issue. The outlaws are always up to something, but things have gotten worse, and to cap it all, we've had a sharp rise in thefts. I believe an organized group has started operating here. Not the usual outlaws. This group seems to be outside the factions. From the little I've heard, they're more like a secret society than your regular set of theft-mongers. I've offered a large bounty for any information that leads to their capture. And capture would be best. I want to find out who their connections are. If you can find out more about this secret society, I can make you rich.
Listen, the council is gone. Why care about what they said?
You don't think that was a better time? Laws for prisoner exchange that assured borders, set rules for trade? Even if you don't care about the blood spilled since the council's rule was broken, The clerics swore to a code, and that includes keeping our oaths. And an oath was sworn to the council by my forefathers. That makes it my duty to see that oath is kept.
The dome is a gift from Kalan. Never forget that.
Am I crazy, or is our generator power fluctuating?
Who's prowling around up there?
Hey, have you got a few shards for a veteran? Help me out and I'll tell you about the city.
Analyzing. Small donation recommended. Local intelligence would be valuable.
If you need intelligence, I'm your man. Nothing gets by me.
There, take this.
Thanks. Thank you. Oh, I won't forget this. And since you have helped me, I'll make sure my contacts hear about it. You help me, I'll help you. Come back in a few days, yeah? I'll have something that might interest you.
Hey you, I heard you speaking to Eric. He gave you an energy regulator for the dome, right? Give it to me, will you? Very soon now, you're going to need the right sort of friend, and giving that to me will earn you that.
What's in it for me if I help you?
Profit is profit. I respect that attitude. What do you think about 100 shards?
I think, seriously?
500 and we have a deal.
500, are you serious?
Pay up or you don't get the regulator.
All right. Here, take this. Now, hand over the regulator.
Let's trade.
Okay.
So basically, let's do all of the bad stuff.
Caleb sent me.
What does he want now? I testified about what I saw, just like he wanted me to. This whole thing between Caleb and Fink is starting to get on my nerves. I shouldn't have said anything, okay? But what's done is done, and that's that.
Tell me your version of the story.
My version? I'm stuck between the two of them. I told Caleb in confidence that I saw Fenk meet an Alb outside the city. Could have been a separatist, but I wasn't sure. I didn't see any more than that, but Caleb decided to tell the clerics. He convinced me that the Alb Fenk met must have been from Zakor. But I have no real idea who he was, or what faction he's with.
About this situation with the separatists.
Do you have any idea what I should do? I feel this is a mess.
You should keep silent. It's too risky to guess.
I wish I was as certain as you, but I don't feel right about this. I'm really not sure who I saw Fenk meeting. What if Fenk really was speaking to a friend? But the chances of an Alb from Zakor coming so close to the Dome City is really low, isn't it? No, I don't really believe that it was an Alb. I mean, how often do you see them on their own?
I am an Alb. Trust me. I know when Albs are lying.
You're an Alb?
A former Alb. Like you, I can't go home without them thinking I'm a traitor. I know Albs, and Fenk is lying.
Well, then you're right. The risk is too great. Thank you for backing me up. I've been so worried about the truth. You've helped me decide. Thank you. The Separatists must leave the city. I will go to Caleb and tell him that I won't say anything.
The Albs were exiled from the city.
Then you convinced York to speak up. You did well. Allowing them in the city was simply too big a risk. You have earned your place among us humans, Alb. You proved that you listen to your soul. I respect that. That should serve you as reward enough.
I've heard a lot about that. I'm not sure I believe it.
I wonder if he was serious about that. Stay healthy, all right? I told him he can forget about that.
You got lucky. That wasn't...
About the candidates for technician.
Yes?
You should make the outlaw Daryl your technician.
Well, I said we might be able to trust an outlaw, but tell me what it was that convinced you.
He doesn't know much about technology, but he definitely wants the job. I think he will learn quickly. He is highly motivated.
I was hoping for someone more experienced. I don't have much time to teach other people as well as keep things going here. But, all right. Okay. We will try it. If he isn't good for anything, I can always let him go. Thank you for helping me with the selection. Here, your payment as promised. I'd better go and take care of my new recruit right away. This should secure us going forward. At least I hope so.
What do you want?
Hey, thanks for the recommendation. I got the job as Vivian's technician. And so, before I do the work, you get the pay. An outlaw always pays his debts. Blah. I got that taste in my mouth again like I bit into a bowl of ashes.
You sent someone to me because you've seen it. Those creatures need dealing with.
So you came through for Cooper?
Yes.
Then it seems we can rely on you. And a good job is rewarded. That's how we do things in Tavar.
Now he's out. How are you going to get into the city?
Well, I was hoping Cooper was gonna sort that from the inside. But no dice. So, we're gonna have to wait for something to change in there. Something's cooking for sure. So we've just got to hope it comes to the boil soon. It's not like we can go back to Tavar. The Duke's never been keen on Baxter's old boys. So we're going to risk staying here a bit longer and hope the Alps don't march through here.
Initiating system optimization. Recommend environmental
I've got a message for you from Gustav, the guard on the gate.
What does that tool want? I can't imagine he's opening the gate for us.
He wants you all dead.
And he sent you to tell me that. I always said that piss streak was a coward. We're going nowhere. You tell him that.
What do I get for running your errand?
There's someone who understands profit. You'd make a good outlaw. If Gustav has decided he wants us dead, then he's too much of a danger. He's not gonna leave us alone until he's dead himself. It seems you can get close to him. So I want you to persuade him to come out here. Say you need help or something. I want to see that asshole's eyes when he dies. Bring him here, and you can have the shards he promised you, plus a sweetener on top from me for your help. How's that for profit?
Any ideas for how to get Gustav to come here?
Play to his ego. Say you need his help. He won't come and fight us on his own. But if he thinks you're fighting as allies, maybe that will get him to come with you.
You have a deal. I'll bring him here.
It might even give us a way in if he's not on the gate anymore. Maybe, maybe not. But it'll be one less cleric. Either way, bring Gustav to us and we'll take care of him. He's the main thing we need to deal with.
Okay, I'll do it.
People are afraid of that. You think you know what's going on?
About the outlaws in the farm.
You mean the threat on our doorstep? The canker in our midst? They who should disappear?
There are too many outlaws at the farm. I need your help.
Very well, but I'll only pay half. I'm risking my life and my job coming to help you. Okay? Just wait a moment. I have to find a replacement at the gate. It can't go unguarded after all. I'll be right back. Yes. Let's go and take care of these outlaws. regret that.
Gustav is dead.
Then you deserve the profit from that. Check his corpse for the reward he offered you. And here's a sweetener for getting the job done. You backed the right side.
I have to go.
Put that weapon down. So, you've finally seen reason.
You once possessed great Elex abilities, didn't you? You're probably a soldier from Zakor, possibly even a commander, but you are now free from Elex, and from the orders that come from the heart of Zakor. Have you come here to die like the clerics that I just killed? Or are you here to trade?
What can you offer me?
The weapons of my enemies. Never used. Dropped once. Well cleaned. You won't find a drop of their blood on them. I have traveled alone since I left Zakor, and I wish to remain so. Still, if you have information to give me, that would be useful. Information and shards are what an alb needs to survive in the lands of the free people. Not that either of those things help these clerics keep their lives.
Paige sent me.
Paige? Do I know Paige? Faces and names of the free people, they merge into one. But you must mean the woman from the domed city. But I have business to conclude before we speak. It seems there are 2 followers of Kalan nearby who are anxious to see their god in person. And I must send them on their way. Quickly, decide. Will you stand with me in battle?
You can count on me.
Good. Then let us send Kalan as followers.
This one's mine!
The clerics lie in the dirt, and there is no sign of their so-called god. Let us hope the stench of these bodies makes the rest of his followers think before they challenge the Separatists. Loyalty should be rewarded. Loyalty is what will save us from the free people. I also have something that should please the woman from the domed city. Here, give her this. It should be enough for her to start her plans. I will arrange to deliver the rest to her in due time.
And what about me? Do you have any gear I could use?
I see you have learned the ways of the free people. There. I can't do anything more for you. Beware of the Alexiters and all their lies.
You're back in business.
Good. I was hoping for some higher caliber stuff, but this will do. If you'd brought spitballs and blowpipes, I'd find someone to buy them. People just aren't feeling safe right now. Here, this is for getting your feet sore and arranging the deal.
Okay, so what else can we do?
Leave your hands where I can see them. Be on your best behavior, all right?
Keep your hands off my machines. Any accidents are gonna be dangerous for me, you, and the whole city. The energy regulators are screwed. The surge gauge is failing and I can't see why. And now the shield profiler is returning a really strange set of values. Altogether, that makes for one dangerous set of problems that could fry both of us if the wrong bit of kit gets jolted. And I'm the one who has to fix all this. Ah, shit, I can't even sort out the replacement parts until I have this stabilized.
I heard you are having trouble establishing communications with the Horde in Ignodon.
That is just... Wait. How do you know that? That's confidential.
I just overheard someone talking about it.
So the word is out? That is a worry, a real worry. Well, we can't waste any more time. We need to fix that comms relay station before anyone tries to take advantage of our problems. Since you're in the know, can you help me?
We might be able to come to an agreement.
An agreement? Okay, sure, an agreement. As long as you help. If you don't help us, we could lose everything we have here. And if things fall apart out there, you can be certain that it will get bloody for everyone.
What's so important about fixing your communications right now?
We're awaiting the delivery of some combat mechs. But they haven't arrived, and we've no way to check why without communications being re-established. That's why we've got to get the link back up now, so we can find out what's going on.
I could go to the Horde and find out what's going on.
Sure, that would help for this. But you can't keep going back and forth for us. No, we have to re-establish ongoing contact. And that means fixing the comm link. We need to get this fixed as soon as possible. And please, please, keep this problem confidential. Otherwise, we are very likely to face even greater challenges. Here are the coordinates of the relay station that's gone down. It's over to the northeast of the city. Head that way and keep looking out for an antenna on the horizon. But I have no idea what the issue is there. You might be able to fix it at the bottom, but there's a chance you might have to climb the antenna mast. There will be a device somewhere on site that you can use to recalibrate the antenna. I hope that'll be enough to fix the problem.
Eric sent me.
Thank Kalan. Do you have the energy regulator?
Yes. Here.
Perfect. That looks great. Thanks. Thanks for getting that. I'll install it immediately. You better get back to Eric. You can tell him I'm putting it in right now.
Didn't I give this to an outlaw?
Let's trade.
Okay.
Lutz has the energy regulator.
Good. The dome should be more stable now. I thank Kalan for sending you.
Did someone tell you could come in here? I'm watching you.
What you say is who you are.
You say it's a solution, but I think it will make things worse. There's a challenge, and that challenge.
I spoke to Lutz.
You got me just in time. I was right about to light one up. So, go ahead. What did he say?
I assume you don't want to hear about the energy regulators.
No, I don't want you to put me to sleep. I need information about what the clerics are planning. He must have said something about their plans.
Lutz said something about combat mechs being brought here from Ignadon.
That is the proof. They're planning an offensive.
He didn't say anything about an offensive. He mentioned defense.
No, there's no need for mechs for that. It's clear the clerics are planning something. Did he tell you anything else?
Yes, he wants me to help him re-establish contact with Ignadon.
How are you supposed to do that?
There is a defective relay station between Abessa and Ignadon. I'm supposed to readjust the antennas there.
Yeah, he doesn't look like someone who'd want to go outside the city. He's too cozy in his machine rooms. But we can use this to our advantage. When you readjust that antenna, you can install a little transmitter for me at the same time. That way we always have an idea what the clerics are up to. That'll make the Duke very happy.
I'll plant the bug.
And I'll give you a reward for that.
Energy source discovered. Analyzing. Analysis complete. energy source is not standard ALP defensive shielding.
Okay, that should be child's play. It seems to have worked. There's nothing to do here. Tell me about the city.
Right, well, where to start? First off, a lot of people are avoiding the north of the city. This place always has something going on, but right now, there's really something brewing. That means the north isn't exactly welcoming unless you're a thug. The western section's safer. You're okay there as long as you don't break the law or look funny or say something the clerics don't like. The southern part, well, that is really quiet. Nothing really happens there, but wherever you are, you should know the clerics are watching. Alois, he runs this place and he hates thieves and beggars and trouble causers and pretty much anyone. He thinks he's God's messenger or something, and that means he's got one big old stick up his ass. So don't piss him off. If you ignore anything else, don't ignore that advice. Don't piss off the clerics. There now, you are fully informed.
You'll have to deal with things yourself. I can't help you right now.
The B series was never
You say
very
it's a
reliable.
solution, but I think it will make things worse.
Go and bother someone else.
Who else are you telling that?
I'm sorry. Unless this is official business, you should move on.
About the Outlaws' weapons delivery. Someone else took delivery of the weapon shipment.
What? Who? I needed to stop those weapons getting out into the city. If you want to fit in here, you should start thinking about offering help, rather than just turning up with bad news. I shall just have to hope that we manage to stop whatever trouble is being planned before it leads to casualties.
Man, look at his weapon. It's so cool.
Is it what you wanted?
Ah, then why are we still working with... The dome is a gift!
Better armed is better prepared. He always thought he could talk his way around anyone.
I sent someone to you for the security of the city. You know what you saw. You're just afraid of what it could mean.
Yes, that's true. I just wanted to say that I'm behind you. I mean, even if...
You aren't the first to tell me that.
If it wasn't an Alb that Fink spoke to, the risk of letting the Separatists stay in the city is simply too great.
I'm glad to hear you say that. And I'm glad that you stand behind me. You've always been loyal, York. Don't worry. I will speak with Alois and ensure these Separatists don't threaten what we have here.
Thank you, Caleb. I know you're right.
Feed the belly, the rest of the body will die.
I installed the bug.
I know. I've been picking up that broadcast ever since you got in there. I couldn't have got anywhere close to their comms equipment. But in you go, and now we have complete access to their network. Now, whatever they're planning, we can be one step ahead of them. You have earned my respect.
And my shards?
Well, you know, when I think about our first meeting, I remember you turned down the Duke's generous offer. So I assumed you were more of a charitable operation. You know, free from the evils of capitalist exchange. So why endanger your sense of morals now by trying to claim the vile shards I offered?
You owe me some compensation.
Well, it was a fine service you did for me. So, here, a gift in return. Don't forget to see Lutz, yeah? If he thinks everything's working, he's gonna be looser with his talk. And that's your chance to find things out.
You were lucky.
Yeah, well, maybe I...
Not like that.
listen to... Hey, come over here. Let's get a drink together.
What are we celebrating?
Victory over the Alps! Or do you have another reason to celebrate? Because any reason works for me.
I believe.
Drink up. Drink up to the end of our days. Here, my friend, to what's coming. And now, tell me about your glorious deeds. Or have you just been sitting on your ass, letting others fight the beasts of Zekor for you?
I've done more fighting than a barfly like you.
Ha! You have to have balls to challenge me like that. Here, you've earned something to drink.
Why aren't you in Adan with the other berserkers?
Fuck the berserkers. I don't have anything more in common with them. They would have exiled me to the valley sooner or later, so I beat them to the punch and left. Fuck them and their laws. You can have it much easier here.
Your reputation precedes you.
Let's just say, that crap-stained skin flap of a man was shooting his mouth off about me, and he didn't have anything better to say about you. It's about time someone pays him a visit. Now, you're the one to do it. That lying shit is telling people I killed a family out in the Badlands. Total fucking bullshit. I killed 5 families out in the Badlands. Parading around out there, hardly a weapon between them, like they wanted to die. Those dipshits got themselves killed. And now, Riley spread it all around the dome. He's even got some of the guards believing his yabber. But if someone else were to shut him up, I'd be in the clear, and those guards would be off my back. Take care of him, and I'll make it worth your while.
You need to learn respect for others.
What? You think I'm a child? So piss off, or I'll give you your head on a plate.
Give people some respect, and you won't need to fight.
Let me tell you something right now. I'm gonna give your whore of a mother a reason to cry. Come here. Is the fight over? All right. You've made your point, so leave me alone.
It'll take more than words to get me to leave.
You stole from me. You already have everything I owned. So take what you have and get out of here.
From now on, keep your hands off the outlaws.
And if I don't?
Then you'd better find a bodyguard before I come back for you.
All right, fuck it. You get your wish.
Smart decision. I recalibrated the antenna.
Yes, thank you. We've already started to get messages through. We've had to do a bit of clearing up at this end, but that's a minor issue. What do you think? Is the station to the northeast in a good state, or are we likely to get another failure?
I'd recommend stationing some people there to defend the antenna.
If it were only that easy. There are always other things to demand resources. Oh, well, I'll just have to see if I can persuade the powers that be. Here, this is for you. You shouldn't think that I don't value your service to our cause.
About Brabak. You needn't worry about Brabak. He'll leave you alone.
Leave me alone? He won't do that while he still draws breath. Oh, please tell me you didn't appeal to his conscience. He hasn't got one.
Don't worry. I made things clear to him. He won't be back.
Well, okay. Thank you. Thank you, that's what I wanted to hear. Wow, I might actually live through this year now. Thank you. Thank you. Here, this is for you.
Okay, so I think that's it. Now we just need to get away. For example, let's go into Goliath. And here we should sleep for, let's say, 9 days.
What kept you?
I'm here now.
So you are. And are you planning on telling me where you've set up camp or what comes next? Or do I have to wait for that too?
Okay, I'll tell you what's happened so far.
You've done a lot, but you still have got a lot of work ahead of you. Or we have.
And we're not going to get where we need to without a jetpack.
Don't worry, I know how to use one of those. I'll keep up with you. Now can we talk about my problem?
Are you okay? Did any more people from the city survive? Where are the others?
I don't know.
So, you have no idea either, huh?
What happened?
You're the only reason that I got the chance to modify that energy regulator. I only wanted to set up a back door so I could get out. But it went wrong and brought the dome down, and without the shield, the Alps just walked in.
Ah, it's you. Well, it seems the Dome City is history. It's been taken over by the Alps. Not exactly the plan, but it should stop the clerics from thinking of invading Tavar. Having Alps in the Dome City will scare the hell out of them.
What happened here?
Well, knowing the clerics were up to something, we might have orchestrated a little uprising. We were only able to convince everyone after we got that intel from the bug you installed. Thanks again for that, by the way. We created a few diversions, then we took them down. It was easy to overpower them, thanks to that weapon delivery you got through the page. But after we got control of things, the dome shield went down and the Alps came straight in and took control of everything. I guess throwing those separatists out wasn't a good idea after all. I bet they ran straight to Mother Zakor and helped them take the city down.
So, another one who survived the mess at the Dome City.
What happened there?
The Alps happened. We'd had enough of the clerics pushing us around like they owned the city. It was supposed to be neutral. So, we outlaws decided to restore the balance. Only just as we got control, the Alps rolled in, overran the whole city, and now Zakor controls the whole lot. It was all Riley's fault. From victory to a complete loss of profit. Speak to him if you want to know what he did. And thanks for the weapon delivery. It was intended to help us take over, but in the end, well, I wouldn't have survived without it. I suppose I owe you thanks.
Okay, so depending on which quest you do for each NPC in Dome City, and for example for each outlaw, you're gonna get different endings for the Dome City. For example, if you don't do the quest for this guy, he's not gonna bring the dome shield down, but you might get some outlaws killed because they have weapons, they are gonna start an uprising, and they are gonna get wrecked by clerics if clerics get the robots into Dome City, and stuff like that, because there are plenty of choices here to be made. And that's basically it with this Dome City. And as always, let me know down below in the comments which choices would you make. So if you liked this video, give it a like, dislike if you think it sucked, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.